Hello everybody, and what's this? This is another Umarak review? No, of course not. That won't be till summer. Okay, what am I even talking about? Anyways, this is the Umarak and all creature kami model. Yes, I said all because there is actually you can unite with every single creature. The recommended ones, however, were Tarak, Iker, and Qatar, or no, not Qatar, Uxar. However, there is the option to unite with all of them. And of course, any of the Toa can unite with any of the creatures, but I haven't actually tried that. And I was going to do that with each of these reviews. I was just going to go through every single Kami model, but I'm not going to do that because sometimes they're only meant for each other. Umarak has the ability to unite with any creature because he's seen in the Journey to One series uniting with two creatures, Uxar and Qatar. But, the recommended ones are Iker, Tarak, and Uxar. But, it's still the function that I do appreciate. I'm so glad that they gave him the ability to unite. And instead of doing speed, uniting processes, I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly talk about each of them. So, yeah, let's get on to Umarak and Qatar. So, let's review Qatar's very quickly. You can give him the brown belt thing, and of course Umarak does get a tail. The color scheme does kind of mess with everything. The trans neon green doesn't really, the whipping, that function still works. And yes, Umarak's head is. I'm glad Umarak's head is still good enough to hold a creature's head, which is nice. It also does give him the random sword, and they do. Unfortunately, you have to angle up the shadow trap pieces very high. I don't know why. But you get the brown arms coming down from there, and you get the blades. And it's okay. The color scheme definitely does not work with this Unity mode, except for the slight hints of beige throughout Umarak. It definitely does work with not Tarak, Guitar's beige. But that's about it. It's meh. I definitely would not recommend uniting these two. Okay, so this one straight up sucks. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll give a little bit more reason into why it sucks. First of all, the stud shooters, they can't even launch because of Umarak's giant horns, not to mention the shadow trap pieces in the way, which is a big downside. And of course, the color scheme is absolutely weird. At least with Qatar, the trans neon green kind of blended into the trans green, and the brown kind of worked against the dark brown. That kind of worked against the dark red on Umarak, but this just, no, it does not work. Umarak gets a fishtail. He just looks straight up weird. I would definitely not recommend these two. And if you're, it just does not work at all, really. Okay, now there we go. That's a good one. This is actually one of the recommended ones, and to be honest, it looks really good. The only thing that does kind of take away is the yellow and the silver. However, the rest of it, or no, not the silver, the yellow. Okay, yeah, the silver. I don't know why I just said no, not the silver. The yellow and the silver are really the only things that do take away from this, but it can be worked around it. This is probably the best one, and everyone is uniting these two together just because of the trans green, and that's really why this works. It's the trans green. I do like how you can put the leg pieces behind the shadow traps. And you can do that with Qatar as well. I do appreciate that because that does kind of work on where to put them. The other one, this one looks really good from the back especially. It does kind of mess with the color scheme, but the gray looks nicely, and yeah, it really is just the best Unity mode. And if you're gonna unite any of these with Umarak, I definitely recommend this one. Besides, this one actually did appear in the story, and sure, it was only for a few seconds, but it still appeared in the story, which is cool. Okay, so like Akita's, this one does not work. It's probably just because of the gold. With the mask control on, it might look a little bit better, which I totally forgot to try out because giving that would make a bit more sense. But honestly, it just doesn't work because the white is so noticeable, and the trans light blue, it messes everything up. It's not good. It's just like Akita's. It just does not look that good. And from the back too, it just I don't know, something about it. It just, I actually think this one's a little better than Ikeda's, but it's still not very good in my department, really. You know, I'll be honest, this one doesn't look too bad. I don't know why. I mean, I guess the colors don't really work together, but the colors still look nice. The gold definitely takes away, and the trans orange definitely takes a lot away. I do recommend uniting this in a different version of Umarak because I probably won't be doing this, but there is a version that I do plan to build at one point of Umarak. Using the parts from the summer wave, you can actually create an Umarak. Yeah, you can create an Umarak with trans orange everything. You know, you can give him trans orange limbs. You can use the limbs from Tahu. You can use the new mask that's coming out with the Akimu set. You can use either Kulta or Lava Beast Ribcage. And then for these pieces, you can use the either you can use Icar's feet or the Shadow Trap, and that's gonna look a lot better with. Oh, and then of course, no, never mind. That's gonna look a lot better with Icar. I don't know anyone who I might do that actually. It will probably look really cool. But overall, it's an okay combi model. I definitely, yeah, it's all right. The colors do kind of clash though. And this being the final Unity mode combo, this is Onua and Terak. Now, this one's okay. I mean, the purple and the gold, you would think the purple and the gold would really clash, and the gold kind of clashes, but the purple kind of works. I mean, it kind of follows the dark red, and I say kind of because it doesn't really at all. But I don't know, the purple is a nice little shade for Umarak. But I do appreciate the black on Terak. That does especially help Umarak's color scheme, and honestly, Tarak has lots of gold and trans purple, but looking at this, it doesn't appear to have that much. You can see, definitely, warning, I'll just say this right now. I'm not sure if I said this before with the past Unity mode combo videos, but very top heavy. If you knock this guy over, it's going, if you even touch him slightly, he's going over. See, I just touched the leg and he nearly fell over. But you can see it definitely, that's what I appreciate the most about the Unity mode combi models, is that they really fill out the back. That's really one of the things that I love about them. But overall, it's an okay combi model. I mean, Onua's function, not Onua, Terak's function still works, and it's kind of useless. I mean, you can maybe see these as wings, but they're not really supposed to, so just see them as claws. And that's about it. I mean, it's an okay combi model. The color scheme kind of clashes, but yeah. That's pretty much it. Alright, we'll be honest, there's a little bit more light than I wanted in this shot. I'm just going to be blunt. And by the way, what you are looking at is all the creatures lying on the ground. Probably dead. I mean, he is the hunter. He probably doesn't care about the creatures. Well, it said his main goal was to hunt the creatures, but he only wanted to see the vision, because I've seen Journey to 1. And yeah, so that's a lot of light for Umarak. But overall, I think that the Unity modes for Umarak are probably the best. Okay, no, they're not the best, but the fact that you can even do this in the first place is amazing. I love this value that LEGO is making lately. I mean, they're really putting an effort into this. They're way better than the 2015 combi models. Even, and I will admit, I do love the Skull combi models for the Summer Wave. I mean, they have recently released actual combination models for Tahu and Pohatu and Kopaka and Melum and Gali. No Liwa and Onua, though, which is kind of weird. But I can't wait to see that, and maybe Umarak is going to, maybe you can unite Umarak with Uxar, not unite, combine them. Maybe it should be Umarak and all the creatures. I don't know. Seems like a pretty cool thing. I mean, the color scheme would clash completely, unless it was Uxar. Uxar and Qatar, I feel like could probably get away with it. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, the great combi models, and I definitely recommend uniting them. Not before the Toa. I mean, I think the Toa are obviously the best ones, but still great combi models nonetheless. So that's about it, and my final review for 2016, at least for the Winter Wave, will be covering all the sets. So, I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.